Well, hello everyone. This is Anna Lucia Novak with SocialAnna.com. I'd just like to thank Greg Cannings again for inviting me back to share my top Twitter tools. Now, I'm going to list several tools for different categories, but I'm not going to do a demo for all of them because of time. I do encourage that you would print out my PowerPoint slide and just experiment with some of these sites and start forming your own list of tools for Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, so that when you're setting up your client's social media or if you're just getting hired to manage their day-to-day management and maintenance, then you'll be able to know how to charge them. And I'm going to talk a little bit quickly about the Twitter maintenance. Um, a lot of people don't know what's involved with day-to-day social media management and maintenance. Social media management is basically doing basic maintenance. That is, you're managing the Twitter followers, following people back, acknowledging them, doing shout outs with some of the Follow Friday tools that I mentioned, or mention tools. Um, there's following people back, looking for specific types of people within a category or location maybe that your client wants to connect with and put her products and services in front of. There are ways to set up your Twitter in such a way so that if your goal is to start promoting webinars and teleseminars, or even location based training, not location based marketing, but like training that's local or adjacent to where your client's located, then you want to set their social media up in such a way so that when you're seeking and targeting followers, you could do it by location, by categories. They would have to give you the criteria. So the tools that I'm going to mention are going to be tools that will help you accomplish those goals and objectives. So there's things that you do every day just to keep the traction and the momentum going, and then there's things that you do on a weekly basis like maintaining the account itself. You want to unfollow, deadbeats or people that don't have profiles or don't speak the language. You want to organize your followers into lists. You want to know what tools that are available to you to go and unfollow people that make it easy for you to seek those types of criterias. And so I'll mention tools that will help you unfollow people by location, by being quiet, by being too talkative, by not following back, by not having a profile, things like that. Now, some of these tools are free and some of them charge, so you have to decide if you want to, when you make recommendations for your clients, you need to lay it out that this is what this tool does and it charges X. And here's an example of the type of reports that you'll get on a weekly or monthly basis. Here's what this report does. This is why I think you need it. This is how much you'd have to pay for it. And if they really don't want to pay for it, then you can decide to sign up for these tools. And then when you bill your client on a monthly basis for your services, you factor in how much, that monthly rate is for running that managing that tool. Hopefully what I'm saying is making sense. Okay, so I'm going to share with you Twitter follower or unfollow tools. And the main ones that I've been hearing about is refollow, tweetbee, ManageFlitter. There's also follow or friend or follow. But you'll have to check these tools out to find out which ones resonate better for you and meet your need. Then there's tools that will analyze your profile as well as other profiles. TweetReach, for instance, tweetreach.com. The free level allows you to type in a hashtag or a user profile, and it'll tell you how far you've reached people in terms of impressions, and it'll even share the people that are involved around that particular keyword or even your profile, who's engaging with you and who's retweeting you. Tweet Stats just gives you basic analytics around your profile. And so again, play around with this. This is my favorite tool, Twirroid. And I think that's to say it's Twitter on roids. What it does is it scans your Twitter profile or your clients or whoever's names you type in, and it will tell you the best times to tweet Monday through Friday. And it does different types of things, and there is a free level and there's a paid level. And so I'm not paying that much each month for this. TweetReach is very expensive. ManageFlitter is like, I don't know, I think $7 a month or $12 a month. And Tweetbee also charges as well to get more features. And so again, play with it and see if it makes sense for you, whether you pay a monthly fee and then charge your client. So that way, because you're charging for a service. And Twitter Counter is free, but there's a pro level. And then there's scheduling tools like Social Oomph and Buffer app. Twitter directories. Now, the Twitter directories can be used for a number of reasons, and I'm going to go into it more deeply as we progress through these PowerPoint slides because I have a visual tool and that'll help make sense for you. The mention tools, they're also known as Follow Friday tools. Well, you can do mentions on a daily basis now. And here are several tools that will help sort and sift through your Twitter profile or your client's profile. And you can set them all up in advance and you could schedule it, or you could just do it on a daily basis. It only takes 5 minutes. And then there's setting up alerts around person's name, tag words, hashtags, and whatnot. Then there's additional social media tools that I use, and these are complementary tools. Instead of using Hootsuite, you might just want to use Twitter and Facebook page. Excuse me, Crowd Booster, which only just manages Twitter and Facebook page. This is a good tool to give to a client that maybe wants to check out their Twitter and Facebook, know who's in their network that's retweeting them and fanning them and very active, while you'll use Hootsuite to manage their day-to-day social media and using the apps to curate content and schedule. Um, Tweet Maps is just a Twitter tool that syncs with your Twitter, and it gives you a visual of people that are in around the country, who's in your Twitter follower from around the country by city or by state, and it gives you a visual. You can copy and paste the widget on your website, and I'll show you what that looks like. Twictionary just gives you definitions of every social media word out there. I believe that's related to Twitter. I thought it'd be kind of fun for you to have because then maybe you can set up a Twitter word of the day and you can use a scheduler to do it for yourself. So it sets you apart as someone who's, knows the Twitter language. Community is a Twitter tool. There is a free level, but the paid level gives you more. Um, it sorts and sifts your followers by influencers and supporters, and I think networkers. And so I use it for myself because I need to know who I should actually spend more time with online and mention and follow. And Social Bro is very confusing when you look at it, but it is a Twitter tool as well. It sorts and sifts your followers and fans. It gives you analytics. It gives you best days and times to tweet, but you do have to pay for it. And I think it's based by how many people are in your Twitter. And you don't necessarily have to pay, the big dollar amount um, for it. And I might be confusing this with other tools. So just check it out. See if you're comfortable with it. If you're not, don't worry about it because I think the tools I mentioned early on are good enough for you to at least get started. Now, Add This isn't really a Twitter tool, but it's a WordPress social sharing. It's actually a WordPress plugin. And what it does is you go to this website, you can create a profile, it's free. You just punch in your Twitter name, your Twitter user profile, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, etc., etc., etc. And then what you do is when you add the plugin to your WordPress, then you have an option once you configure it to actually have social sharing icons across every page on your website, which I do recommend, or just for your blog. And then on the flip side, it also has a follow me section where you would just select, you would add, I'm sorry, I did this backwards. Social sharing is just being able to add Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Google Plus to your website. And then the follow me is where you plug in all your social profiles and then you copy and paste the widget on the right hand side of your, you can add the widgets or the icon on the right hand side of your WordPress. But if you work with someone who's very, WordPress savvy and you want the icons to appear at the top of, of your website, then, you can find someone to do that for you, but it's just easy. It's just copying and pasting the widget. I just thought it was worth the mention. And then there's tweet chats. And tweet chats are extremely popular, so you and your clients can get involved on a specific tweet chat based on topics or that's relevant to your industry. This is a great way for you to get involved by adding your 2 cents, if you get what I'm saying, jumping in on the conversation, first by observing what everyone's doing, understanding what the rules are. I don't know if you know how tweet chats work, but they will do question one. They'll post a question, and then when you respond, you'll respond with Q1 with your answer as well as the tweet chat hashtag word, and then you just kind of stay involved and you can hop on You can retweet other people's comments or answers, or you can respond. And so the reason why I brought this up is that you can go to this website and you can look for tweet chats by day and by topic, and you can make some recommendations for your clients. So again, when you're first doing an assessment and you want to come back with them with solutions and options, you always want to give them some solutions and options, right? And this will help them see the value that you're bringing to the table. That not only are you going to optimize your social profiles, but you're going to integrate it with Hootsuite to make it manageable. You also have some Twitter tools that can help analyze their current profile so that you can make improvements to make it better, and how they're engaging or how their community is engaging with their content or with their profile. And then you can make suggestions as to what tweet chats that they can get involved in, because that will help put them in front of people that will eventually follow them or move them in a list. But the idea is to so that they can get set apart as an influencer or as a person that's worthy of following and getting to know. And this is also the same for you. So I hope this helps. Now, I talked about Twitter directories and I didn't mention influence directories, but if you haven't done so already, you should place your profile in all these directories. And Twilio will ask you to log in with a Facebook or with an email. I recommend doing it with an email and then sync your Facebook and your Twitter. But the idea is making sure that your Twitter profile is optimized, because Twilio will then suggest people to follow based on the keywords that are in your profile. But you also can own this and you can place yourself in 10 categories. And Twibes and TweetFind are directories that you can place yourself in by categories and or by keywords, and WeFollow is just categories and hashtags. Just Tweeted is a really good directory as well, but again, you want options and you want to place yourself in these sites for the very reason of getting found, but also using these sites to find quality followers, because your Twitter profile, as well as your client's profile, is all about maintaining it on a weekly or monthly basis. And if you set it up right with lists, and as you're following people on behalf of yourself or your clients, you can file your specific followers in appropriate lists. And then, of course, if you place your profile in Listorious, you can place your lists in Listorious, and this helps you get found and followed and listed. And of course, you want to be in clout and cred, because you can find people this way as well as engage socially and peer index. And I know one of these have a subscription based fee, and I think it's expensive. So don't even bother paying for it. Just place yourself in the free ones and add the iPhone app Clout on your phone and your iPad and engage, because it's fun. The more you do this, and of course, the more that you engage on Clout, the higher your score, but also the more you engage on Twitter. Now here's just a visual of Twitter profile submissions into directories. I said that you would find quality followers, but you will also get found by people who become your raving fans and endorsers. And it's also great to have your profiles listed in these directories, because you'll get found. So make sure your Twitter profile is optimized with keyword descriptions of who you are and what you do. Okay? Now, I mentioned these Twitter mention and Follow Friday tools. Now, back in the day, people would just do Follow Fridays on Fridays, but I've noticed that people are doing shout outs, also known as SOs or S/O, for people. And so the philosophy around this is, people, when they're following you, all they see is your feed, right? And your feed is consisting of content that you're sharing from various resources, as well as your own content that you've created and scheduled. So when you do a shout out on Facebook, you're basically introducing people to your followers. And so that's a very considerate thing to do, and people love that. And so what I do is I would use these tools to sort and sift through my Twitter, and it brings them up individually, or it does it by group. Now I like to do it individually, because if you take a look at their profile, you can customize some of these shout outs, and you can use the scheduling tool to put your content out there. And when we talk about Twirroid, which is that tool that tells you the best time to schedule on Twitter, what you want to do is you want to notate Monday through Sunday the best times to post on Twitter, or the best the high engagement times. And then what you want to do is, with that in consideration, is schedule your favorite quotes, positive thinking quotes, infographics, and these mentions. And you know what? If you're using a bulk scheduler tool within Hootsuite, you just save it so that you can repurpose it later on down the line. And so I'm going to go do a real quick demo, and I'm going to try and keep this under an hour because it takes forever for me to upload this into Dropbox for Craig to take care of this and send that off to you. But I'm just going to just go over some of these tools. I may not touch Social Oomph just yet because that's a very overwhelming tool. Um, so I'm just going to talk real quick visual of what these tools do, and then I'll end it. And so I encourage you to follow me on Twitter, on my LinkedIn, and my Facebook page, which is Honest Social Marketing. It does say Novak Media Group, but I'm in between phases right now where socialana.com is going to be a do-it-yourself social media dashboard for individuals that are recruiters or HR or startups that really want to set up a solid social media platform for their business or for themselves using my methodology and philosophy. And a Novak Media Group is going to be a company that I've formed, an LLC, last year, or this year actually, so that I can offer social media management services for small businesses and startups. And I love the training side of it. So anyway, when I get around to finishing my website, then I'll be able to tell everyone about it. And then, of course, I'll be needing people to help me manage my clients. So this is where VAClassroom comes in. So I'm going to thank you all for this time, and thank you so much for supporting me online and giving me feedback. And you guys all have a great day. Bye. Oh, I meant bye for the PowerPoint slides. Now I'm going to show you the I'm going to show you um, the the tools. Let me laugh at myself, okay? So ManageFlitter is my favorite tool. It's actually pretty much an all-in-one. If you're going to do anything, I would say stick with ManageFlitter first and then Twilio and maybe TweetReach, and that's it, okay? So what you do is you have a pro level and a free level. I have a pro level because it is very affordable. And I think I pay $3.99 or $7.99 a month. Oh no, I think it's $12 a month. And so, you got these tabs at the top and you have the tabs on the left-hand side. And the reason why I like it is because when you click on the unfollow, it gives you reasons. It helps you sort them out by people that are not following you back. They don't have a profile image. They're fake followers. They don't speak English. They have a high ratio, meaning they have 1 million followers and they're only following one person back. Now, there's a lot of brands doing this, and I really don't like that. It really kind of makes me mad because if you're a customer that buys their stuff and you're following them, but they're not following you back, then why in the hell are they on Twitter? But that's just me venting. People that are inactive, I'm very forgiving and I afford a lot of grace to people that have a great profile and they haven't been around for 30 days. People get really busy. The more successful you become with your business, the less chances you're going to be able to engage the way you used to engage. I was always on Twitter, retweeting, talking to people, and mentioning them, and then I got really busy with clients. And I'm one of those people that I'll get 5 new clients at once, and they're all very demanding. They all have a lot of details to the whole setup and implementation and training that I end up just like mediocre. I'm like showing up for 15 minutes a day and I feel guilty. So I just want to say you want to afford grace to people that have great profiles, but they just, they get busy. And they might be spending more time on Facebook or LinkedIn or Google Plus, so you want to check it out. And Twitter is linked to their Google Plus. So, and people that talk too much, these are people that just say a bunch of dumb stuff. And it doesn't bother me because I have 20,000 plus followers and I have so much content to wade through. I check my lists first. So I organize my favorite people into my lists and I check my lists first, mostly on my iPhone and my iPad because it's organized that way, the way the Twitter apps work. And so you get where this is going. And then there's following people. And again, it gives you criterias here. And you have to manually do it, by the way. You can't just it says fast select. I guess you can do it. So you have to just run your fingers or your mouse through the whole thing. Um, I thought that Facebook didn't let you do that anymore. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. And then you can do search here where you can go by keywords, hashtags, and whatnot. Analytics is interesting. Every social media tool that I've seen is analytics. So 147 have unfollowed me from a week ago. Now, just because some people unfollow me doesn't mean that I want to unfollow them. A lot of times it could just be that they have a tool that automatically unfollowed me. And so anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm only engaging with a handful of people, and so it's okay. I really want to have more room as possible to follow the people that I do want to hang out with. All right. So yeah, I'm just looking to see who unfollowed me. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? You unfollowed me? Uh-huh, I'll get you. I'm just kidding. So, okay. Let's see, where was I? Then Powerpose. Now, this particular tool is supposed to tell you the best day to post to your timeline, and it's telling me 12 noon on Saturday. Now, Twilioid, when we get there, you'll see how rich it is. It gives you so much detail. So anyway, you got some pretty good idea. I think ManageFlitter is worth the $12 a month because of all the components of the way it organizes the way you want to manage your thing. So now, this is Twilioid. So let me just go over here. And I do have a pro account. And I'm trying to remember how much they charge. I don't think they charge that much, which is probably why I didn't mind paying for it. Okay, so my analysis. I had done this earlier. And so as you can see, it gives you general stats Monday through Friday. Tuesday, the best times to post. Wednesday, says most exposure if you tweet between 12 and 1, 2 and 4. So that just means you can do 12, 12:15, 12:45, right? 2, 2:15, 2:30, 2:45, and whatnot. And so I've got different times each day on Twitter. And then it says most followers are online between 7 and 4. And if you click 6 and 5, this is for my Twitter alone, okay? And then if you just did combine, it does all these colors. I get a little OOD'd, so I'd like it to be single. It does hourly graphs. Tells you how many followers you have. By the way, you can generate these reports PDF, export to CSV or Excel, and you can connect it to your Buffer app. And so when all these times that it recommends, when you connect it to Buffer app, it will actually notate the time. And then when you start scheduling content through Buffer, it's going to remember when to, and when you select the Twitter profile, it's going to know when to post to your Twitter. And let's see here. He had 39 replies at 5 o'clock on Monday, so this is cool. I think this is a very, very useful tool that you can have for yourself as well as for your clients. You can analyze a user. So I type in request analysis. Oh, we need a little bit more time. Okay, great. Darn. And the influence graphs didn't work so much for me, and I don't know why. But let me just tell you how the report worked. I went ahead and I saved it, and I got best time report. So can you just imagine when you go to your clients and you put a scope of work together that you're going to do their social media management, which involves the day-to-day, scheduling content, retweeting on their behalf, following people, etc., etc. And then on a weekly basis, you'll maintain their Twitter accounts, and then you're going to provide reports, um, about the best times to post tweets, especially if your client happens to have a how do you say it happens to have the gumption to want to schedule her own posts when you're not around. So you could print these out every Friday, and you have your logo here or her logo here, and then her profile will appear here, and you can say, here's the best times to tweet and to hang out, because of the most followers are online between these times, and so this is why you need me around this justifies the hours that you're going to provide for your client. And if she says, well, I can't afford it, or I really prefer XYZ, then you can tell her, well, as a social media consultant, I'm suggesting that you need to be online between 1 and 4. You need to do this and that, that and this. So, and this is, it does the work for you. It's printed out, okay? Next tool, we already did Twilioid. So as you can see, I'm paying $7.99 a month because I have 19,000. I'd rather pay up to that. But if and when I get up to that, then of course I'll go up to $9.99. So tweet reach is the same thing in a way. If you need to show how she's doing online, you would type in your client's user ID, and it's going to go ahead and calculate the reach. And so you want to say right now your profile's only getting 37,000 impressions just with one tweet, and then the second to 2 to 4 tweets, only 2,500 are looking at you, and 24, and then 0 after 8. And then it says you've only had 9 tweets, and so I would probably plug in VAClassroom into Twilioid, find out what's the best time and days to post tweets, use Scheduler to post the tweets, and also know what times to stay online to engage and manage the social media community, and then check this every Friday and print this out. This says it has an old version. I don't remember what the old version looked like, but you can export it as a PDF, Excel, and you can print it out. And so again, when you work for your clients, you want to justify everything that you're doing for them. So providing stats and reports, they love that. Even if they only just glance at it, because you want to tell them the end result is, next week I'm going to tweet between these hours, and I'm going to hang out on your social community sites between these hours. And just a real quick heads up, Facebook has Edge, let me see, Edge Check Ranker. I forgot the name of that tool. I'm going blank right now. But there's a tool that does the same thing for Facebook. So, this gives you a lot of information about who's in your followers that are, contributing to your tweets and your Twitter activity. Tweet stats just gives you very basic social media stats, and I'd say play around with it. You get per hour, month, timeline statistics, and there's even like a cloud. Simply Measured has a really cool free set of tools that you can use. If you just click on the free reports, and it just gives you some really cool analytics. Does Facebook fan reports. It gives you some really cool visuals. Again, you want this because you can do reports for your clients every Thursday for the next day and sends it off to them, or you can even set it up so that it goes into their inbox. And so the other tools that Simply Measured has cost quite a bit of money, but these are free. So just use the free tools and set it up so that it goes in their inbox every Friday or whatnot. I think it just goes in every week, however way the day you started. But that's, again, showing your value, and you need to do this for yourself. Twitter Counter just tells you how you're doing with your followers and following, and it predicts. It sometimes gives you stats, and it predicts how much that you'll think you'll grow in a matter of weeks or months. It's a fun tool. I don't really pay attention to it too much. I sometimes get emails that said I reached my 20,000 mark, etc., etc. Now I've grown my social media organically. I haven't bought any Twitter followers. I don't really believe in that. Early on, I went into Twilio, I went into all the directories, and I manually followed people. And I manually follow people as they follow me. I move them into my list. I try to engage with as many people as I can per day. I retweet a lot, and I'm very authentic about it because I do read the content. And then there's other ways to really show your value. And I didn't mention it in this particular presentation, but there's a lot of ways to show your value. By connecting, Quora and Intigi to Twitter. So anytime you answer a question, it tweets out. And so then it shows people that you're helping people online. But then you can also do the same thing by doing searches on Twitter and trying to answer questions or look for something that you can respond to and comment on. Here's Twinotomy. It's kind of similar to ManageFlitter, not so much for unfollowing people, but just gives you information about your own profile, who's in your followers, who are the users you most retweeted, who are the users you most replied to, and whatnot, hashtags you most used. This is kind of real good this is actually really good to know. Um, um, I mean, you get a snapshot of how you're engaging, or maybe your clients. You can click on mentions and retweets, and you'll get the same. Oops, sorry, I had to do this here. Just want to check my time. Okay, good. I'm 30 minutes. Um, so this is the really cool thing about this tool. You want to know how many times you've been listed. It's very complimentary. That if someone's listed you, that means that you're worth being listed. They want to check you out. They want to follow your feeds. Same thing with knowing how many followers you have, how many people you're following, and how many tweets you have year to date. And then it's fun. Visualize your mentions on a map. That's kind of cool. You could do this for your client. They'll love you. People are visual. Um, I was engaging with Lita, so I added her to this. Um, this tells you what's going on with your timeline. Let's see. This is analyzing your profile, obviously. We just went through that. I think this breaks it down. Just trying to figure out why it's taking so long. Okay, so it does break it down. So snapshot, type in your client's name here. Give them this, right? I don't see a way. I don't see a way for you to turn this into a PDF, but I'm sure that when you click on File Save or File Print, there's a way to save it as a PDF. It's loading the preview. Once it's done, then you can save it. See? See? Genius. Save it, send it off to your clients. They love it. Okay? Um, so and again, I have 20 lists and 500 people per list, but not all my lists have 500 people. But it says here lists I'm subscribed to. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I've created 0 lists and I've created no members. I guess they're talking about the list on this tool. I have 20 lists in my I have 20 lists in my Twitter profile. Now, this is the thing. Some of my lists are not accurate. I mean, some of these tools don't always present like my lists accurately. Oh, here we go. So this is definitely my list right here. So I'm going to pin these. I mean, they obviously mixed mine with all the lists that I'm in or that I'm following. So this is just an example. So you can go ahead and do all of this. Okay. So I don't know what happens when I did this, but let me just see. If I click on it. Okay, so yeah, so this is a really great tool to really analyze what's going on with your lists. If, again, if you're a person that you're going to resonate towards one tool over the other because of what it does for you, but you can use this for your clients, and this is really cool to see how people are engaging, what kind of content that they're publishing and whatnot. Okay, so the next one is Tweets Maps. This is my favorite tool. It's fun. You just plug in your name and this pops up. And so I did it by country. I got the widget. I added it. You click the widgets here. I added it to my Social Honor website. And I had a choice of doing it by map or by chart, as you can see here. Okay, chart or by maps. I preferred the chart. I thought it was pretty. You can change up the size and then you get your code. So it's a really fun tool. Now I mentioned community because I thought it was worth mentioning. Now community I pay $9.99 a month. And the reason why I do this is because am starting to do a lot of my own business development work. And so this tool tells me who my influencers are, my supporters, and engaged members, and it also makes recommendations. And then I monitor engagements across my social media sites or my sites that I've created. And I'm still very new to this tool, but you can learn to play with it. Oops, sorry. I've created keywords. So like I did Facebook marketing, and so there was 12 leads apparently. I don't know what that meant. So I just take a look at these profiles and see if I want to follow them, maybe engage with them, and start to reach out to them and maybe even be bold and say, I like to talk to you about social media. So, and I'm tweeting stuff out because I'm also letting people know that I use community. So, and then you can search by name. But this is a really good tool for yourself and also for your clients if they are looking for ways to really dig deep within their Twitter to engage and build a business or have a business development tool. Social Bro is a little overwhelming, and I would like to invite you to try it for free and just become familiar. It's just like Hootsuite. It looks really super busy in terms of visually, but there is a lot of things that it does for you, and some of it are only available at a pro level. And I don't remember how much they charge. So I'll have to look into that. But I did used to use it a long time ago, and it was just too overwhelming for me. So I fell in love with ManageFlitter for the following, and then the tweet reach and the Twitter rewards. And those are the three tools I use all the time. And then once a week I check Twitonomy just to have practice with it, and I use the community. And again, I have a folder here, see, under Twitter, and under Twitter I have my social media tools, my reputation tools, my social mention tools. So, and Twitter background tools and things like that. So that way, in case I forget, but since I have a habit of using it, I just kind of just go to it right away. Okay, so we talked about Social Bro here. Now, I brought up Crowd Booster, even though it does integrate with Facebook page. Crowd Booster used to be free, and they're just starting to charge $9.99 a month. And it only allows for one Twitter profile and one Facebook. So when you first log in, it'll sync up with your entire social networking on Twitter and Facebook page. And so for right now, like it's syncing with my Twitter, with my Facebook. And this gives me a 7-day overview, a 30-day, and all since I've had the account. You could do it by graph or by tables, and it tells you how many posts you've had in the last 7 days, how many impressions you reached, how many likes you received, and how many shares and comments. The PTAT just basically tells you the total, I think, acts of, like the reach, the impressions, the likes, I'm sorry, and then engaged users. And, granted, you know, it's really weird. I have completely different Facebook insights than I do here. But what I like about it the most is that it tells me the best times of days to post on my Facebook. It tells me how many fans I grew, and it gives me a chart. And it'll even tell me, um, you know, it'll actually list fans that are actively engaged with me. So let me see here. I guess right here is engaged. So let's just do all. So this basically, for the life of my account, it'll tell me who's engaged with my account the most. And so I could sort it by comments, by mentions, by likes, okay? And it just lets me know in my Facebook network, because, who's really actively looking at my stuff, because Facebook Insights doesn't tell me this. And so now that I know this, I'll just notate it in my brain, or I'll just copy and put this on a Word document, and then I'll go over to Facebook page and I'll try to, schedule in mentions throughout the week to let them know. This also sorts by 30 days and by 7 days. And then publishing, this pretty much tells you, again, you can use this as a scheduler, but I don't. All I do is I notate the time, and I'll schedule a lot of times I schedule things way out in advance on my Facebook page using the Facebook scheduler, and then I'll come back and I'll edit the times for it to go out. So that way I know that for sure I'll have more of a reach. So this is a really cool tool to use, and you are able to export as a CSV file. And I thought that you're able to do it by, I guess no, just by CSV file. Now if I go over to Twitter, it's going to go ahead and scan and sort my whole followers again. And it does a visual of, the content. I got 1 retweet and 32.k potential impressions. And I got one more tweet to look at. So again, look at the top. You could do it by the last 24 hours and just scroll up and down. You can do it 30 days. And this could be a really good tool for your client. That way your client's not overwhelmed by Hootsuite. You use Hootsuite to manage their day-to-day, curate their content, retweet, blah, blah, blah. But then if they're just curious to know, who's in their network and who's doing what, then, you would walk them through to analyze, and you can say they can look at how their content or how they're doing online. I'm trying to click on table, but it's not happening. Okay. And so you can sort this by time, by tweet, by retweets, or by potential impressions, right? So 1 week ago, this had 1 retweet, and it gave me 195k impressions and 3 replies. On this side, you'll get the best times that it recommends to post. Now at 5, 7, 8 a.m. and 12. Now that's for tomorrow, I think. It doesn't do it for the whole week. I hope that Crowd Booster will improve the service, but you can just use Twirroid, and you can schedule all your content through Hootsuite or whatnot, based on what this tool tells you to do. Let's see here. So this is really good information because you can kind of see what does really well online, okay? And so if you want to do it on a weekly basis and then do a CSV, again, every Friday, you will send all your reports out, and that way they have the weekend to digest it and look at it, and then your Monday you can review it very quickly with a synopsis of, hey, this week I've scheduled content to go out during the times that Twirioid mentioned, and I'm going to spend time on your Facebook page during those 3 times that the Crowd Booster mentioned and or EdgeRank Checker mentioned, and this is the type of content that I'm going to be using for you. Do you agree, not agree, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times, clients should give you content and they should give you some help. Some clients have a ton of content already on their website that is still relevant and timely that you could repurpose through Hootsuite, through Facebook and Pinterest pinning. And so that can sort of get the momentum going in terms of traction and SEO. But you need to also tell them that you have to curate content that complements who they are. And so you can make recommendations of the infographics that you found and photos that you found on Flickr and PhotoBucket and whatnot, and or e-cards, you know what I mean? And just say that this is going to go out on Facebook and this is what we're going to do on Pinterest, just letting you know. You get the sign off and then you just run with it. And so hopefully everything that I say when I talk about a tool, I try to give suggestions and ideas to get you your mindset right. And of course, this tells you influential followers, who you should follow. You should engage with this person. She has a 62 clout. She just followed me. Fuse, whatever, is 67. You darn right I'll follow you. You can go back up here, by the way, and click on this tool little tab here. And once again, you could do a 30-day overview and just be mindful of these people and just make sure that you retweet their contents and you mention them. And if they say something online or like a post, like a quote, comment on it on behalf of yourself or your client. And when I say yourself, I'm talking about you as a social media for yourself. But if you're doing it for your clients, to do it for your clients. And then here's a list of influential followers. Check out their profiles. Make sure it's relevant to what your client does or yourself. And then, it's okay to have a little personality and follow, entertainment or comedians or whatnot. and retweet something that they did that's, ethical or fun, um, you know, and then because of the fact that this person has so much influence, that when you retweet them, then you're putting yourself in front of their followers, and hopefully you're going to attract them. Like, we forget that despite the superficial differences between us, people are equal in their basic wish for peace and happiness. And that is so true. I'm going to buffer this. Select my Twitter. Add to buffer. There we go. We're done. So that's pretty much a wrap of all my favorite tools. And I'm going to tell you right now that if you were to type in Twitter Tools 2013, you're going to find a list of all kinds of tools, right? This is the top 5 Twitter tools for 2013. It came from this web resource. Twitter search, Twitter tools. There's a Twitter tool area. Some of these tools aren't even existing anymore, okay? But just learn about them, and you need to start forming your own list of tools for Twitter. What Twitter that, the tools that could unfollow and refollow people. It's good to have more than one because you want to give them options. You want to have tools that analyze and do statistics. And I gave you several examples of that. You've got the Follow Friday mention tools. That will make it easy for them to sort and sift. Speaking of which, I want to show you how some of these tools work so that you know how you can use it for yourself, okay? I'm going to have to stop very soon here. You sign in with your Twitter profile. You authorize the app. Generate my Follow Friday. It's taking forever. And now you have group mentions right here. So you could tweet it right from the dashboard. Not doing it. It could be because I have too many things on. Okay, people. Aha. Okay. So this one is independent. This one's independent. Do you see how easy this is? And first of all, I'm going to say, oh, I guess I can't do it. Darn it. Sorry, if I'm going to do this, I better do it right. Looks like I'm going a little too far here. That's okay. I'm just going to do it this way. And I'm going to buffer this. There we go. Sorry, I had to do that, okay? So this tool is just amazing. I love it. And so because you can't really modify it, I don't think you can modify it. No, you can't. Just copy and paste it and modify it for like a Tuesday. You could do Monday marketing, Tuesday, Wednesday hump day, etc., etc. I think you got the picture here. And this is why I love this tool. I think it's awesome. Now, FB Paris also has auto thanks. Oops. Let me show you. You connect this to your Twitter and generate messages. And I don't know if it's just generating messages automatically to anyone who's mentioned me today. So you definitely want to experiment with it. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to say that's going out. That's going out. And that's it. Okay? You're done. It takes you 5 minutes. So if you just create a little folder here that says mentions and add those 4 tools and just spend a few minutes a day mentioning people, 3 people in the morning, 3 people in the afternoon, 3 people at night, or just schedule it out for the whole week or for the whole month, and you're done. And all you need to do is manage it day to day, retweet people, and thank them. So that's just an example of the tools. So with that said, I just want to say thanks again, Craig Canning of VA Classroom, and thanks to all the members for being patient with me and sitting through this presentation. You guys have a really great day, and feel free to ask questions over on VA Classroom's board, okay? Facebook group. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.